All right. So I have 3 cameras going right now. So if I'm going back and forth between the 3, like we've got YouTube here, we've got TikTok there, and Instagram here. So what we're going to start talking about today is why basically we don't want to heel strike. So very hotly debated topic in the world of running, has been for very many years and will continue and continue and continue until we stop running, which is never. So I'm going to have put my take on it. Now, I may not be right. This is what I've learned over many years of running, many years of coaching, many years of treating, and basically finding all the best information I can from around the world. Hello from Argentina. Hello from Australia. And I basically collated all my research over like 17 years running, coaching, high-level rugby, etc., all these injuries, and I believe I can honestly say that heel striking in running should just be rid of, get rid of, because we'll break it down step by step and just tell you my reasons why. And again, I'm going to say this is not the be-all and end-all. This is just what I believe from my own research, my own coaching. This is what I coach, because it's actually changed over the time. I've definitely never ever coached heel striking. I've been more forefoot, but now I'm back more in the middle. So we'll break that down and see where we go from this. But as we're going, ask questions as we go, see if you've got anything back and forth. It's always good to get a conversation going, no matter if it's on Instagram or TikTok. Happy to answer either way. But a little bit of history about why we kind of heel strike, and a lot of it can actually come back to Nike, or Nike, however you want to say it. Is big time their fault that we are a big community of heel strikers. And we can go back to around about the early 70s when jogging started to become a big boom in America, and everyone just popped on some shoes and started running. And so Nike kind of jumped onto this idea, and they actually wanted their athletes, their Nike athletes, to start running faster. And what they hypothesized back then was a longer stride creates more speed, covering more distance for each stride. You think that makes sense to make you run faster. But unfortunately, back in the 70s, what they came across was they used to run in flat shoes, not much cushion, not much stability, the old pumps that basically shoes came from, and shoes that I kind of advocate for running today. But because they started to overstride, have a bigger stride as they're running, as they're sprinting, they started hurting their heels. Because you think about, if you running out into a longer stride, you're gonna hit your heel first. It's very, very hard to have a long stride and hit the flat foot or forefoot. So they were constantly hitting their heels into the ground. And if you've ever ran barefoot and started to try heel strike, you never do, by the way, it's gonna hurt. So what did the boffins at Nike start doing? And they added this cushioned heel to the running shoe. So this is back in the 70s. We are still got the same technology today, 50 plus years later. And I can honestly say, I honestly believe that a heel in any shoe, if it's a runner, everyday shoe, casual shoe, work shoe, etc., has no benefits whatsoever for any human unless you want to look taller. That's it. That's the only benefit to any heel in any shoe. But of course, back in the 70s, as soon as they added this cushion in, they continued with their longer stride and it didn't hurt because they've got this cushion in the way before they'd fixed it. So that was the big starting point of this heel striking boom. And like I say, unfortunately with shoes today, they still are the exact same, and they kept getting bigger and uglier and more cushion, more stability, all that crap that doesn't need to be in shoes. And then we can also look at the fact that a longer stride does not make you sprint faster. It does not give you more speed. It actually creates what we call a braking force as you stride longer. Because when you land that heel in front of your center of mass, so your center of mass is around about your belly button, we land that foot in front of that center of mass. It's going to be on a heel strike. It's going to be normally a straight leg. That creates a braking force going back that way. Yeah, true, Ryan. Yeah, it's a great book, that one, Shoe Dog. An effort to improve performance. Yeah, all these shoes, even today, they're trying to improve performance. The waffle shoe, yep, all that innovations back then. We've got all this beautiful technology within our feet. That's why we've got big, strong Achilles. It's why we've got big, strong fascia on the bottom of our feet. But unfortunately, with these shoes we wear today and have done for years, have taken away all that awesome strength, all that mobility, all that intrinsic strength we have within our feet. So, where was I on that? Yeah, the braking force with the heel, that heel strike, is basically like running with the handbrake on. You're trying to go forward, the force is acting against you to go backwards. And you can simply trial this out by standing on one foot, hop forward, and land on your heel. See what happens. You're most likely going to hit a dead stop and fall backwards because all your momentum is stopping and falling back. Doesn't sound very efficient to me. Now, if you were to then hop again, land on what we call a tripod landing, a midfoot, a flat foot, you're going to absorb that landing and you're going to continue forward. Massive difference. And you think about that as one step of how you run. One step in 1,000 meters, a 5K, half marathon, marathon. And the things with every single step you take when running, 2.5 times your body weight is coming down on each foot. So if you can't control that, if you can't absorb that force, if you can't utilize that force to your benefit, it's got to go somewhere. And with that heel out in front, straight leg, straight knee, straight hip, etc., that's going to just go up and reverberate back into those joints. Doesn't sound very comfortable, but we have got so damn used to it, not just because of the shoes, but we can also look at the sedentary lifestyle. I honestly believe through all of my work in the health fitness industry over the last 17 years, that you can bring most injuries, most ailments back to two things. That is your shoes and your sedentary lifestyle. But coming back to that foot strike, so ideally what we want to see is a nice tripod landing, what we call the outer tripod. So big toe, little toe, and heel. So big toe, little toe, heel, imagine this is your foot, hitting the ground at the same time as each other. No heel striking, no forefoot striking. The ability to absorb that that landing, that force, that 2.5 times that loading coming down evenly. We can disperse it evenly. Now, one of my favorite analogies to show people with this is, imagine you've got a plastic bowl. The plastic bowl is upside down and you drop it on the floor and it lands on the lip of the bowl nice and evenly. It makes this beautiful suctioning sound and all that load is just dispersed evenly because it just stays still on the ground. But if I was to tilt that bowl backwards into a heel strike, if I tilt it forwards into a forefoot strike, that is now hitting the ground at one specific point and it's going to bounce all over the place. Not dispersing that load, all the load is going to that one point, potentially breaking, and that is what we are doing to our feet, our ankles, our knees, our hips, our spine, every single step. That force is being loaded into one part of the body that is not designed to do that. We got this big, awesome, springy Achilles that help absorb this and can actually absorb this energy that we create and propel us forward as we help with our run. But a heel strike will never ever aid in that at all. All it's going to do is slow us down. So tripod landing is where we want to be. But again, we can bring it back to the shoes. And like so many of my running clients I've had in the past, I ask them, oh, where do you think you strike your foot first? And most of them said, oh, I'm probably about midfoot. And the funny thing is, the majority of them are actually heel strikers. Reason being is because they cannot perceive the ground. They cannot feel the ground. They can't react to the ground because of a big cushion in the way, a big sole, a couple of centimeters on most. And we have 250,000 nerves on the bottom of each foot. But most of that is congregates in about the forefoot. There's only a few that come back to the heel. So it's very hard to feel that anyway. Then add cushion heel in the way. There's no way you're going to be able to feel where that foot is landing. So the easiest way to work this out is take a side-on video of yourself running, run past and see where that foot is landing. Because that's going to give you the best feedback to show you where you're at and give you easy tools to show you how to then change it, because it needs to be changed. I don't care. I know there's coaches out there who advocate for heel striking, and I just believe they're so wrong, but that's their journey. That's cool. We can get, but the funny thing is, like, the body is so damn resilient. It will just be resilient for years and years and years. It will cope with these poor inefficiencies that we give it, but eventually something's going to happen. It will get to the point where it's had enough and it'll start causing pain. And that pain will start with just little whispers, little niggles, just to let you know that something's not happening. Something's not happy. And we ignore it. We ignore it. She'll be right, mate. Keep going. Oh, it's fine. I'll run it off. But then that whisper gets a little bit louder. A little bit louder, a little bit louder, a little bit louder. And we finally get the scream where it's a torn muscle, burning knee pain, lower back goes out, etc., 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 something like that. We can't ignore these little whispers because they're just going to get louder and louder. So a lot of people can get away with heel striking over such a long period of time, but eventually something's going to happen, or they are literally the luckiest, the damn luckiest runners in the world. So you need to change to a tripod landing. And there's, again, so many people saying that, oh, it's such a long transition, it should take forever, you'll hurt yourself. Not if you do it safely. Not if you know what you're doing. It's not just suddenly going out for a 5K run and trying to change it straight away. You just do drills, back and forth, up and down the street. That's all. 20, 40 meters. It's pretty straightforward. Because running needs to be treated as a skill. It's not just something we can do anymore. Yes, we evolved to be the most efficient runners on the planet, because back in those days, hunter-gatherer days, caveman days, if you couldn't run, you're not going to eat because you can't chase your prey down, and you're potentially going to get eaten. So we have lost that ability because of our sedentary lifestyle. Starts in school, unfortunately. Age of 5, you're given a full-time desk job. Sit down, shut up, don't move. 5 all the way through to potentially 18. Most people going to uni, job, desk job, etc. Your body is now having to adapt to that position, stuck at a desk, stuck in these big heavy shoes, and that is where you become strong. Most people are walking around with the strength to be able to cope by sitting at a desk behind a car in front of the computer. You then go out for your run or go play your sport, and the brain is just wondering what the hell you're doing, because this is not your common position. This is not the position that your brain has adapted to, that your body has adapted to keep you safe. It's all our body is designed to do. Survive. So if it knows that you are going to spend the majority of your days, 8, 9, 10 hours every day, week after week, month, year after year, is going to make you strong and safe. So your fascia system, your connective tissue, binds you down to these positions to keep you safe. But then you go to the gym, start putting stuff overhead or deadlifting, etc., or you go for a run, the brain can't cope because it's like, what are you doing? This is not your most common position. Please go back where we are safe. So most people are going to get injured in the gym, during a run, during their sport, because that is kind of like the straw that breaks the camel's back. It is not the sport's fault. It is not the gym's fault. It is not running's fault. It is the way you live that will... The way you live is going to be the way you run and the way you move. So it's not about just changing your running technique. It's not about just thinking about how you're going to lift that deadlift or that squat in the gym. It's not about how you can throw further, kick further, catch, pass, etc. in your sport. You change what you do throughout your day, the majority of your day, your work life, driving around too much. If you can limit the amount of sitting down you're doing, address your shoes so you actually allow your feet to do what they want, that's going to improve your gym, your sport, your running more than anything else. Because you could go to the gym every day for the next 10 years. Of course, you're going to get fitter, you're going to get stronger. But if you don't gradually change those habitual movements throughout your day, you just go around in circles. You're not going to get the best outcomes from what you actually want. So the biggest thing I've learned through myotherapy, coaching, sport and all that is, yes, we go to the gym to improve our lives. Yes, of course. But if you actually improve your everyday movements, that's going to improve your movements in the gym, which is then going to improve your life outside of the gym. So cycle. So it's not just about the gym. Get rid of this unnecessary sitting down as much as possible, these unnecessary big, bulky, heavy shoes, and watch your performance skyrocket. So bringing that all back to the heel strike. We heel strike because of these elements, because we are stiff, because we're immobile, because we are so disconnected from our bodies that we don't know what we're doing. We need to treat running as a skill, not just something that you go out the door, put your shoes on and go. You treat it like a skill, just like a deadlift, just like a squat, just like a press. It's a movement pattern that has to have some thought behind it. Because if you don't start thinking how you are running, how you are moving, you're going to break down. And we just don't want that. I only running from the popo. Wonder how far you get, mate. So yeah, so we want to get away from that heel strike, go more towards that tripod landing, because that's going to make you 10 times more efficient. It's going to limit the amount of injuries. It's going to increase your performance. It's going to increase your speed, increase your efficiencies, etc., etc. Ryan, done gym, walking, running in same pair of Vivos since 2020. They still going strong. Longevity-wise, makes price much more appetizing. Bang on, mate. You probably can't see, but right over there, I've got 20 pairs of Vivos sitting there. I don't wear anything but. Apart from my running shoes are Ultras. Little bit of extra cushion, just a bit of help. But yes, Vivos, I've been wearing them straight now, 6-7 years. Won't wear anything but. In the gym, home, work, all of it. I can't recommend barefoot shoes anymore. So yeah, keep that up, man. That's great. But yeah, the Ultras, I only run in Ultras just for a little bit of extra cushion, because the cool thing I learned 18 months ago now, because I used to think that we should run in Vivos, we should be able to run in Vivos or barefoot shoes with a flat sole. It just is very, very hard for the majority of the population to get there, because we're so deconditioned into our feet and our shoes. So a little bit of cushion is okay. That's where the Ultras come in. But also what I learned is, you look at most people who run today, 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon, etc. These are actually made up sports. The human body was not designed to run continuously for that amount of time. So we actually evolved to be interval trainers. Intervals are like, we walk, we jog, we sprint, jog, walk, sprint, etc., etc., etc. It's never really continuous. So that's where that just a little bit of cushion in the ultras just help out just that little bit. But the beautiful thing about the ultras is they're still flat, nice wide toe box. They bend up like anything, and yeah, just the only shoe I'd ever recommend to run in is the Ultra Escalantes races. Nothing else. I can honestly say I won't wear anything else. They're just perfect. So yeah. Alrighty, so if you do have any more questions, feel free to hit us up with a DM. But also don't forget, we've got my free running blueprint, the 10 standards for longevity, resilience, and strength in sport. It's on the bio of both Insta, YouTube, and TikTok. So click on that. It's all free. See where you're at. See where your risk of injury is potentially at going through lifestyle habits, mobility issues, and performance-related issues. So jump on that. It's all free. Jump in there. It's the greatest thing ever, just to help with your running and your sport in general. But that's me. Have a great day. Thanks for having on board. Cheers, Ryan, for that. Awesome, mate. Appreciate it.